Welcome back to Myth Detective. In the bloody battles of Irish myth, warriors looked not only for their enemies on the field, but for a dark omen in the sky, a lone crow circling overhead. They knew this was the sign of the Morrigan, the phantom queen, overhead. She was the goddess who decided them with a whisper of fate. Today, we open the case file on this terrifying goddess of war, destiny, and sovereignty, and investigate her fatal obsession with Ireland's greatest hero, Chulainn. To understand our subject, we must know she is not one being, but three, a triple goddess. She is Bad, the crow of battle, who causes confusion and fear. She is Macha, who revels in slaughter. And she is Anand, the bringer of prosperity. Together, they are the Morrigan. Her most terrifying form is that of the washer at the ford, an ancient Irish hero journeying to his final battle, would often encounter a lone, weeping woman washing a pile of bloody armor in a river. If he was brave enough to ask, she would reveal whose armor it was. If it was his own, his death was sealed. This wasn't a threat. It was a statement of fact from the goddess who presided over the intersection of life, death, and destiny. She was the final, inescapable omen, a divine announcement of a warrior's end. This is the power we are dealing with, not a warrior, but the very embodiment of a warrior's fate. Our case file centers on her fatal relationship with Ireland's greatest hero, the demigod Chulainn. During his epic one-man defense of Ulster in the saga of the Boar, the Morrigan appeared to him. She came not as a crow or a crone, but as a beautiful, noble princess, offering him her love, her aid in battle, and her divine favor. But Chulainn, arrogant in his youth and focused only on the fight, brutally dismissed her. He claimed he had no time for a woman's backside in the heat of battle. This was not just a rejection. It was a profound insult to a powerful goddess of sovereignty. By rejecting her, he was symbolically rejecting an alliance with the magical forces of the land itself. Enraged and humiliated, she uttered a chilling promise. She would not help him. She would hinder him at his most critical moments, and he would come to regret the day he scorned the phantom queen. The Morrigan was true to her word. As Chulainn faced one of his most difficult duels, she attacked him in three symbolic forms. First, as a white eel, she coiled around his legs in the water to trip him. He broke her ribs. Next, as a great gray wolf, she stampeded a herd of cattle at him to trample him. He put out her eye with a slingstone. Finally, as a hornless red heifer, she led the stampede. He broke her leg with a mighty cast. Despite being wounded in all three forms, Chulainn won his duel. But the story has a bizarre twist. Later, he encounters an old woman milking a cow with broken ribs, a blind eye, and a broken leg. Not recognizing her, he asks for milk. She gives it to him, and he blesses her, an act which magically heals her wounds. She then reveals herself as the Morrigan. This wasn't just a battle. It was a complex, almost game-like test of the hero's honor and perception. The case file is closed. So who was the Morrigan? Not a simple villain, but a personification of fate and the harsh realities of a warrior's life. When Chulainn insulted her, he didn't just insult a goddess. He broke a fundamental rule of the cosmos. He rejected his connection to the sovereign power of the land. Her interventions were not just petty revenge. They were the inevitable consequences of his own pride. Her final appearance is the most telling. On the day of his death, as he lay dying, tied to a standing stone, a crow finally lands on his shoulder. It is the Morrigan, not there to gloat, but to confirm that his fate is now sealed, to claim his soul, as is her right. She is the terrifying embodiment of the idea that a hero's destiny is sealed not by his enemies, but by his own choices and the powerful forces he dares to disrespect.